Hello, Dr. Lowe. I made a communication book for client T. Her name is Miss Clemens. She is a 62-year-old female with severe dysarthria secondary to Bober ALS. She is married and has two grown children and five grandchildren. Miss Clemens' speech intelligibility is 30% for words and 45% for sentences when the communication partner knows the context. She communicates her wants and needs using a whiteboard and a dry erase pen. She shows minimal weakness in her hands and in her legs. She's very active. Miss Clemens plays the organ for her church five um, times a week. Sorry, not 5 times a week. Sorry about that. She plays the organ for five masses each week. She is also an active member of a scrapbooking club, and she loves to travel with her husband, who is a retired photographer, and they like to go to different places that have beautiful scenery and take pictures. And she also enjoys reading mysteries and writing short summaries about the mysteries that she has read. She's very close to her family, and as a matter of fact, her grandkids have been actively involved in her scrapbooking for the past 10 years. So that's just a little background information about the client that I was assigned. So let me go ahead and show you her communication book. This is the book that I created for her. If you see here on the corner, on the cover, it says "Music is my life." And the reason that I chose this cover for her is that I really wanted to personalize it because she is a musician, she loves music, she's always around it, and I just wanted something that would really reflect her interests in the things that she enjoys doing in life. So let me go ahead and show you the first section. Right here, I have two dry erase markers that she can use. I also laminated a piece of paper, another piece of paper, laminated it so that she can take the dry erase marker and use it on here if she's erasable so she can use it over and over again. She has an extra one just in case she loses it. And for the first section right here, I have the table of contents. And as you can see, there's 8 different tabs in her communication book. They're all color coded. So let's go ahead and go through each section. The first section is on family. And I felt that it was important to include a section on family because, as I mentioned, she's really close to her family. And I'm sure when she goes on trips or even if she's just out and about, that she likes to talk about her family to different people. So I definitely wanted to include it in her communication book. So on the first page, there is a picture of Dean and Cindy Clemens. And at the top, you see Love of My Life. And at the bottom, it's just showing that I created it, class, and the semester. And I included that on each page of the communication book. On the next page, I have a picture of her daughter's family. So you see her daughter and husband at the top. They have two small kids, a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old that I'm sure Miss Clemens will want to talk about when she goes out traveling or just like I mentioned, just out and about for the day. She'll definitely want to talk about her grandkids. And here's a picture of her son's family. her son Brad and his wife, and they have 3 kids. So this is another page in the family section. Let's move on to the next section. The next section is schedules. As I mentioned, she's very active, so I felt that it was important to include a section for her to help out with time management and also so that she can show it to her family members or friends and so that they can have an idea of what's on her schedule. So if you look here, the first one is a weekly schedule, and it has every day of the week. You can see that here. And let me show you something that I created. I created this sheet. It's in a sheet protector. And what she can actually do, right down here at the bottom are activities that she participates in on a regular basis. So this one says church mass. And then you see family time, scrapbook club, music friends. So what she can do is, let's say for instance, on Sunday when she goes to church mass, she can just put that right here. If she has other activities that she would like to do on that day, she can write them below here. Also throughout the week, she can write down any activities. But I just wanted to include these because it's probably something that she would put on her calendar on a regular basis. So let's go ahead and go to the next schedule that I created for her. This schedule is a monthly schedule. So at the top you see all of the days of the week, and then there's boxes where she can write in each day of the month. And right here at the top, she can actually put the month. So what I created for her is this sheet right here. Once again, it's in a sheet protector. So at the top, you see January. So this would be for the month of January. And then all she has to do is just write down the days of the month, and she can write down different events. So if, for instance, her grandchild's birthday was January 20th, then she could write down January 20th, and she could write in birthday. And whichever grandkid's birthday, she could just put their name on the calendar. And that's just another way to help her to organize her schedule and to show it to her family members or friends. But as I mentioned, she likes to travel, so I'm sure she'll have something on here for traveling. Let's go ahead and move on to the next section. The next section is food. And I took a slightly different approach with her because she is ambulatory. I figured that she's someone who can move around on her own. She, as I mentioned before, she has minimal weakness in her legs and um, her hands. So most likely she does cooking, she's able to cook for herself, but I still felt that it was important for her to have some type of communication chart for food because she travels a lot. So if she wants to go out for dinner, then all she has to do pull out this chart right here. At the top it says, I am hungry. Let's go out to eat. And then she can point here and say, I want to order. And as you can see, there's different columns right here. There's appetizers. So there's a list of appetizers. Then there's drinks. So she can indicate what drink she wants, what main dish she wants. And then there's vegetables. And there's salads. and desserts. And if she isn't able to make a selection there, she can just use the whiteboard that I created for her, and she can write down what she wants to order here. Also, I felt that it was important to make her a daily schedule for her meals just in case she wants to communicate in that way about what she's eating on a daily basis. So on this chart, you can see there's breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the top. And for this one, I also created, I have it here somewhere. I created this sheet right here and a sheet protector so she can write on it and indicate what she wants for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's just another way for her to communicate with others. So let's move on to the next section. The next section is social needs because she is active and I'm sure she is social. So when she goes out, she can use this chart right here. In the first column, you see greeting, then there's small talk, then farewell. So she can use any of these messages to communicate when she's talking to friends or family members. Once again, she can also use this sheet right here to create novel messages. And I also thought since she's really close to her family that it was important to make something that she could use with her family. So here's another sheet right here. At the top, you see it says grandchildren, son and daughter. So these are messages that are relevant to her family. So she can point to these messages when she sees her family members just to keep in touch with them and just to know what's going on in their lives. Also, she can use this board right here in case she wants to create any novel messages to communicate to them. But I just felt that it was really important for her to have some type of communication chart that was specifically for her family. So that's why and this is just questions that she will probably want to ask her family members. So let's go ahead and move on to the next section, which is feelings. That's section 5. And in the feelings section, I have this sheet right here. At the top, it says, I am feeling, so she can indicate how she's feeling, whether it's sad, frustrated, tired, and why. And one thing that I did to make it easier on her, especially if she's going through some of these emotions, is right here, it's in a sheet protector, she can just take one of these icons off. So this one says frustrated. Right here, the first one says frustrated, and sad, happy, excited, grumpy, or tired. And what she can do is she can actually put it up here at the top and she can write in why she's feeling that way. So it's just another way for her to communicate her feelings to others. And as I mentioned, if it's not here, then she can just take this off and just write it in how she's feeling and why. So let's go ahead and move on to the next section. The next section is music. Couldn't leave that out because as I mentioned, she's a musician, so of course she's going to want to talk about music when she goes out in public. She is a person who has traveled all over the world to listen to different pipe organs in famous churches. So I'm pretty sure she will want to talk about that with people. So I created a chart. It has the pipe organs that she has seen. It also tells where and when. So that's something that she would probably want to talk about with other people. So these are all the famous churches where she saw these pipe organs. So I felt that it was really important to include this in her communication chart. So let's go ahead and move to the next section. And this one is called Favorite Photos. As I mentioned, her husband is a retired photographer. At least I believe I mentioned that. He's a retired photographer. They enjoy traveling and going to beautiful places and taking pictures. So I felt like, she'll probably want to talk about the places that she's gone, the different sites that they, you know, um, and just to share that hobby with other people, just to share her love for photography. It really is her husband's love, but from what I can see, she enjoys taking trips with him and finding these beautiful spots and taking pictures. So anyway, what I did was create a sheet. It says photo, and at the top here it says my husband is a retired professional photographer. Let me show you my favorite photos. And then she can show those photos and then to see where those photos were taken. So I'm sure that that's something that she will want to talk about with other people. The last section is on books because she loves reading mystery books and writing short summaries about them. So I don't doubt that that is something that she will want to talk about with other people. So in this section, at the top, it says, I really enjoy reading mystery books. And then up under there, it says, let me show you my favorite book. So she can show all of the books that she enjoys reading. And then it says, what do you enjoy doing in your spare time? So that's just another way for her to communicate and to find out some information about whoever she's talking to and just to keep the conversation going. So that concludes the communication board that I created for Miss Clinton. Goodbye.